East Coast, West Coast, or around the world. This is Coast to Coast. How you doing, gentlemen?
Great.
I'm doing well.
And I hope the Rockets fire Jalen Green.
Why?
Oh, man, Pax, he just disappeared in the playoffs, man. I think he got 38 points when Butler was hurt and not playing. But the rest of the time, 7 points, 8 points, lack of less than 40% shooting. I don't know, man. He just did not carry his weight, man. He wasn't the superstar we're trying to get. I just don't know about him.
Well, like I said, I feel like that you knew going into this that this was going to be a tough series for them to win. The fact that they made it to a seventh game actually says more about them as a team. I watched that game last night. I actually was paying attention to that because there was a couple of game sevens, obviously, last night that I was, so I was watching between the hockey game and that game, and you could tell that they were struggling a little bit just to maintain. Again, they should have went with what worked, getting the points in the paint. They could have drove on Golden State all day long, but them missing threes. Every three that they missed was like, well, there's 2 points that you lost out on. There's 2 points that you lost out on.
Right.
And that's what they needed to do. They could have drove on Golden State all day long and never gotten stopped. But this is a learning experience for them. You knew that they were going to lose this series, that Golden State was going to have the bigger playoff acumen, and that this was just going to be a learning experience. And I feel like they learned a lot here. Saying that they're going to fire him, I don't know that that's the case. I mean, obviously he was relied on a lot and he didn't perform, but that's all for next year now.
In all honesty, I think I'm not a betting man, but I would not be surprised if they took the 2 picks from Phoenix, gave it back along with Jalen Green, and brought in Durant. I wouldn't be surprised if that's a move that they made. I don't know if it's the right move, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's the move they made.
Oh, I'd be shocked if that's the move they make, just because Durant's not a Ime Udoka type of player. Ime Udoka likes players that play defense. Durant does not play defense.
I mean, what I would also say that there's a possibility. I mean, there's 1 year left on Butler's contract, correct? Butler on that team would actually do amazing, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
But he's got another year left to go with Golden State, so you're not going to get him anytime.
I don't think he would leave, Pags. I think he is so happy there. I think he fits that system. I think he likes Steve Kerr. I think he likes being the Robin to Batman. I think he resigns, honestly. Yeah. I'd love him to come to Houston, but I think he resigned.
I don't know. He's a funny guy when it comes to stuff like that. You think that he fits in really nicely and then doesn't.
Yeah.
But, I mean, winning a ring to make a difference. That's going to be a big deal. And while they're in the playoffs, like I said, I think that they have the best chance of unseating OKC.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would definitely give you that for sure. In all honesty, man, I like what the Rockets did. They could have easily gave up and went down 4-1. I mean, they could have, but they didn't. They fought, and I think that's the biggest thing. I wanted to go up against Golden State because I wanted them to have the best playoff experience. And I knew they were going to advance to the finals. I don't think they were quite good enough to get to the finals. So if I can't get to the finals, I want to have them to have the best playoff experience so that they can get better for next year and take that next level up step. And Amon Thompson is a dog. I don't know if y'all watched him last night, but that guy is a dog, man. And I like that about him. And I like Sagoon, and I like, what they're doing over there. I just, like you said, Pags, they just need that one sharpshooter. They need a role player, that one role player that can hit you that 3-point like a Steph Curry type guy. Now, they're not going to get Steph Curry, but anything close to, a sharpshooter like Steph, that would put them definitely in the right spot. And honestly, free throws. Good God, man, we got to make our free throws. But those are the two things, right?
I mean, you definitely have to hit free throws.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, really.
Free throws do win or lose you games every now and then.
Absolutely. A lot of times.
Yeah.
No, a lot. You're right. Absolutely a lot.
And the good thing that I liked, the other thing I liked about yesterday was I love Game 7 playoff hockey overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is so fun to watch. It's like even not caring who wins or loses. Like it didn't matter to me who would have scored the goal. Actually, I preferred Winnipeg to win it just because if there was going to be a Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup, I'd like for it to be Winnipeg because I can't stand Edmonton and I'm not a fan of Toronto or Montreal. So, I'd rather Winnipeg be that team.
Yeah.
I could care less about Calgary or Ottawa or Vancouver. I'd like Vancouver to do it if they were in it, but they're not.
I think the
But I
Dallas
think it's-
Stars might get it though. We took care of business against the Avalanche. Now we're going to the next round. I like my Stars this year, man. I think we got a damn good shot at it.
But they always beat the Avalanche, so they're tough. Their tough out's going to be. Well, I guess what are they playing? Winnipeg or are they playing Vegas right now?
Yeah, I think Vegas is a
Winnipeg.
tough team.
They're playing
That's what we lost to last year. Last year we lost to Vegas, and they knocked us out. So I don't know if I want to play Vegas, but if we have to, then it is what it is.
Well, that's what Dallas does. Dallas beats the Avalanche for some reason or another. They just got the Avalanche's number. What's this, like the 5th time in 6 years? They've knocked them out of the playoffs. So, but I mean, you guys have a decent team. I think that it's going to be tough to get past Winnipeg. Winnipeg had their tough series now. I think that you're going to see. I don't know. I think it'll be a good series, actually. That could go 7 games as well. I love good hockey.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Especially playoff hockey.
Oh
yeah, Game 7 hockey is I'm sitting there and I was on Broadway at Barstool's bar.
Oh, okay.
Not the one where they had the anti-Semite remarks. That was in Philly. I was in Nashville.
I love hockey because my wife, we're laying in bed last night and I'm watching the Rockets game, and it's like, do we really got to watch the Rockets game? The NBA hasn't been good since Jordan left. Now it's just a bunch of 3-point shooting. Can't we just go watch hockey and watch some guys beat up on each other? And I'm like, damn, if only I had a time.
Well, especially because you knew your team was going to lose anyway.
Well, you hush your mouth, Bo. Damn it. I mean, I appreciate you. Damn.
They did keep it close for a while.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
it was.
Again, and you know what? Golden State went in there, and it's not like they blew us out. Yes, they got us down 3-1, but they never really truly blew us out. Like, we hung with those guys, and that's a tough team to hang with all the championship experience, the way Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler and Draymond and his effect. We hung with those guys. Yes, we didn't get the win, but we hung with them, and that's really what I wanted to see, because you got to remember, 4 of our main guys are 22 years of age or less. I mean, and we hung with them, and that says volumes going into future seasons as long as they hold them together.
Yeah, no, I mean, next year was always the year I thought, because they're suffering from the same thing that OKC did last year, right? They're just a really young team, and experience will get you in the playoffs. So,
It will.
But yeah, I mean, you guys showed a lot of fight.
Which is what I'm
Actually, to lose the defensive battle, because I mean, obviously that was a defensive game. They scored only 100. They 103 points. They wind up scoring all day. I thought that's why you needed to get the points in the paint. That's why you needed to drive on them. You needed to get those 2 points every time. I think that's one of the things that they learned, because actually it was good to watch it, because they were playing defense on the other side too. Look at that. Steph Curry actually trying to play some defense, and actually was working. You know what I mean? It was working. They were doing some damage. But again, all they had to do was drive, and they just didn't. They kept putting up threes. I'm like, why are you trying to do that? You don't have the guys underneath. It's like you're giving the ball away. It's like a turnover every time when you could be getting those 2 points. You think about that. Like, you have 4 or 5 more times driving, and that's a whole different game. And yes, they gotta get better on their free throws.
But you know what? And I agree with you 100% because what does points to the paint do for you? It does two things for you. One, it puts possibly their team in foul trouble because they're going to have to foul you or possibly get fouled. And number two, it can lead to a 3-point play. If you draw the foul, you just got to make the damn free throw.
Yeah,
Well,
you know what I'm
you're
saying?
also getting higher percentage shots.
exactly.
Higher percentage shot. Like you're going down there and doing like just underneath the backboard and just putting them up and getting those 2 points, getting those 2 points, getting those 2 points. They weren't shooting great. They were shooting at like 38%, 39%.
Yeah, that's about where they were. Which is
So,
typical.
I mean-
That's more like a 3-point percentage than it is the actual field goal percentage.
Well, that's what I'm talking about from Golden State. Golden State was at the 38%. So
Yeah.
if they were going down there and actually getting 2 points every time, rather than sometimes, like I said, they would just give it up or also taking too much time. It felt like that they had like a couple shot clock violations. Like it seemed like that they were just passing the ball around too much. I'm like, why aren't you driving? Why don't you just
Why aren't you
get
driving?
inside?
That's right. That's right.
You know, it's like
I mean, anytime you see a team get away from what it is they're good at, it's always a loss, and that doesn't matter what league you're in.
But
Whether it's
you know what, though?
basketball,
That goes
football.
back. That goes back to Jalen Green. It goes back to because watch this. Amen Thompson, he drove the paint a lot.
Mhm.
The Goon, Adams, they were in the paint a lot. How many times did I see Jalen Green actually go to the paint, which is what he's known for? Not very much. Not very much. You know, and it wasn't even Steph Curry that killed him yesterday. It was Buddy freaking Hield, and that 3-point. Buddy was on fire last night.
Mhm.
That dude couldn't miss a 3-point to save his. I mean, he was all over. It was crazy.
yeah, 'cause I mean, Seth was horrible. He had like no points in the first half. He had like
He
13
had
points for the
five. He
entire
had
game.
5 going into the third quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like he was horrible, but they got Buddy Hield for these moments, specifically
Absolutely.
for these moments. Like
He came over with the Thompson trade.
it was finally, like I said, that was the one game that he actually needed it. That's what they got him for, actually, for these game sevens, because he's not worth it any other time. I think he scored. He had 37 points yesterday, but it was like he's had like 7 points the rest of the series.
Hey, Jamie, that thumb broke thing, that wasn't an issue for Steph. I saw that guy hit 3 points with no problems, and that thumb's been broke for a hot minute. So that ain't even an issue for Steph. I promise you. If you watch that series, it wasn't a problem.
No, but it was affecting him last night. Yeah, yesterday it wasn't. He wasn't Seth Curry. You know what I mean? You could tell.
Well, I don't know what he did in
which
that
is why-
off time because that boy
Which
was
is why-
hitting them fadeaway 3-point shots, not even looking at the basket. I'm like, what the hell? He couldn't miss a shot.
But that being said, that's why you saw him playing defense. It was funny. It was funny watching him actually run around the court playing defense a little bit, and they needed him to. Like it was important because he actually disrupted some of the play. That's why I felt like the Rockets sometimes were taking too much time. I'm like, why not drive on him? Like I feel like you could drive on him all day long, and they weren't driving on him. Like they weren't, and I didn't understand why.
Well, and not only can you drive on him, but then you can get him in foul trouble.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Besides,
and
it's a game 7, right? You got to pull out all the stops. You got to win that one, or you're done. So yeah, I
Well,
mean,
it's called
some
win or
of
go
the
home for a reason.
driving didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so, but yeah, like I said, it was a good series. And they learned a lot, and they'll be better next year for it.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see though the Rockets find that 3-point guy. Then it'd be a superstar. It just has to be a role player. Just give me a 3-point role player that can hit that 3 ball. Find him in the draft. Find him in free agency. But we need that one guy that consistently make that 3 ball, and we're gonna be okay. And like you said, Pags, learn to go to the damn paint. Continue that mission. You know.
Well, I mean, they grow on trees. So 3-point shooters, they're out there.
Oh, absolutely, they are. They are.
And what they're going to be drafting what, about 24th in the draft?
Yeah.
It's probably where
But we
they.
do have
Yeah.
Phoenix's 2 picks, so I don't know how that all. If they don't trade the picks away, I don't know how that's going to affect the Rockets drafted. Where they'll get Phoenix's next 2 picks.
Next, what, first round picks?
Yeah. Yeah, we got Phoenix's next 2
It's not
first rounders.
protected. It's not protected because Phoenix is.
I don't believe
Phoenix
it is.
didn't make the playoffs.
I don't believe
Phoenix
they're
is kind of
protected.
lucky.
Yeah, guy, you might know it. I don't think they're protected though.
I don't think they're predicted either. No.
Yeah, I know that. Like for instance, the Sixers pick is to OKC is a top 6 protected,
Yeah.
which I think that's or top 5 protected, which means that we'll probably get the 6th pick and lose that pick. That's what I fully suspect. However, we've already heard that there may be collusion with the NBA, and because of what's going on, that they're giving the Sixers the first pick in the draft because of the whole stadium deal. If you're wearing that type of tinfoil hat,
Sucks to be a Sixers fan.
tell me about it.
Hey, I feel your pain though, man. Like I said, like Cowboys fan. I'm used to disappointment. Bo's a Mariners fan. Used to disappointment, and God knows, oh boy, over there, that guy. He knows nothing but disappointment. So, I mean,
What are you talking about? Disappointment from who?
well, let's see: Minnesota, Chicago, Cubs. I don't know. You pick any one of the 3.
Cubs don't disappoint me at all. I got to see the World Series in my lifetime. I'm good if they never make it back. I'm fine.
Yeah, that's what I.
Speaking of the Cowboys, and
Way to have that expectation really low. I saw
No, because I'm not a typical fan that like has the same expectations every year. Like I don't expect my team to make it to the World Series every year. I don't
Or
expect my
apparently ever be good again.
no because they're good this year. The Cubs are sitting at 21-14 right now, but I don't see them as a World Series contending team right now. I see them as a playoff team, but they're still 2 or 3 pieces away from being a legitimate World Series contender. So if they don't make it, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh my God, I'm so upset we didn't make it, because I don't expect them to be at that point right now. They're not there yet. They're at the playoff level where they should be making the playoffs, right? But they're not at the World Series level at the Dodgers and some of these other teams.
Yeah, this year, but you said you don't care if you see it ever again. That's a wild statement.
No, I don't care if they never win it again. If they make it back and they lose, they make it back if they lose. But if they're consistently winning 95 to 100 games, consistently making the playoffs, whether it's the NLCS, the NL Division Series, or World Series, and losing, they're consistently getting into the playoffs. And as everybody knows, once the playoffs start, anything can happen. How many times have the Dodgers gone into the playoffs and have been one and done because they faced the hottest team in baseball the last month of the season? You never know who you're going to get in that first playoff match. And if it's a best of 3, you could have 3 good starting pitchers shutting down your offense and you're done.
It sounds like you should be a Steelers fan. They get into the playoffs every year. They don't do anything, but they're there.
Hold on a second.
well, no, he's a Vikings fan, so it's the same.
Yeah, when the Vikings make the playoffs, they're one and done. Right? I mean, hey, we get in and we're going home.
Well, they just miss it a lot more. That's all.
They do. Miss it wide right more often than not.
That's exactly it.
Damn Gary Anderson.
You guys have had a few of them that couldn't hit a field goal to save their life.
Well, the Gary Anderson one stings the most of the year. The Vikings went 15-1. The guy was like 59 for 59 all year, counting field goals and extra points. 32 yards to send the Vikings to the Super Bowl. And not only did he shank it, but it wasn't even close. That's the one that stings more often than some of the other misses we had, because that was the year where it's like we had everything lined up for us.
That was the only time I was a Vikings fan. I was rooting for Kendall.
Oh no, he's signal took a dump there.
Yeah, no, Robert, I will never dump the Cubs, because I've told my wife this and I've told everybody that knows me well enough that when it comes to any of the teams that I like, the Cubs are the only team where if every sport disappeared, I would still watch the Cubs. Or if the Cubs are like the only team that I could like watch, that is the only team that I would choose to watch. Like if Minnesota lost their football team, I wouldn't care. If the Bulls lost their basketball team, I wouldn't care. The Cubs are the only team that I will never like ever turn on ever for anything. And if they lost their team, I'd be probably never watching baseball again. I wouldn't latch on to another team or anything.
There's so many lies in that statement.
No, I wouldn't. Like I watch like baseball to a point. Like I watch baseball. I might like go to the Yankees game for 3 innings and watch that. I might go to like a Phillies game for 3 innings and like watch that just because baseball is on. But I'm not gonna sit here and watch a full 9-inning baseball game if the Cubs are not on. I will like maybe watch 9 innings in total, like through different games. But like if it's the Cubs, I will watch the whole game start to finish. And if they lost their team, I would probably never watch a baseball game start to finish. I would just kind of skip through. Oh, I'll watch 2 innings of this game, go to the next game, watch 2 innings of this game. Like I would never probably watch another game start to finish.
So you need the red zone for baseball.
I have it. I have MLB extra innings. I have all the MLB package stuff. So I just kind of even when the Cubs don't play, like they have an off day on Thursday, I'll probably just skim through 4 or 5 games on Thursday, just watching a couple innings of each game.
Right on. And you're right, Rob. The M's are holding strong here. But if you remember, last year, they did have a 10-game lead, I believe, at the end of May. So, let's calm down a little bit.
How likely do you think you guys would be willing to trade a starter at this point?
Trade a starter for what?
Because the Cubs just lost Shota Imanaga for probably the next 6 to 8 weeks with a hamstring injury, and he's the ace of their staff. So now not only are they down Shota, who's their ace, Justin Steelhead, Tommy John, who is their number 2. So the Cubs right now are down there.
We have 2 pitchers that are injured. So
I'm saying if the Cubs called you to try to get Luis Castillo, do you think you would do it?
No, because I mean we're dealing with our own injuries. We don't need to lose guys. We had Randy leave yesterday's game or day before's game with hamstring tightness. We have 2 pitchers that are injured at the moment. So no, I can't imagine they'd be trying to make a move currently just because of the guys that are currently not on the roster. But,
How'd you guys do this weekend?
what's that?
How'd you guys do this weekend?
So we won one and lost the other, and the one we lost, we got beat up. We lost like 8-1.
We did good and bad in the same sentence. We beat the Brewers 10-0 Friday. Beat the Brewers 6-2 Saturday. Lost 4-0 yesterday, but we also lost Shota Imanaga for 6 to 8 weeks with a hamstring injury. So we lost more than just the game yesterday. We lost another significant 15-game winner.
And Rob, you're right. Yeah, this is the only way I can see Castillo being moved is if they are big-time sellers at the deadline. And even then, I don't know that they do.
Yeah, you guys are never going to be that bad to be sellers.
Well, not sellers like that for sure. And we have won our 8th straight series. So I mean, it's not like we've been playing bad baseball.
Yeah.
Yesterday I watched the Phillies are doing the same thing. They're winning series, but they come back in the 9th inning, tied up, just to lose it in the 10th. But it was like they were down 7-1. And come back, and then they give up 2 more runs in the 9th inning, and then wind up tying it back up again. So, all with 2 outs was fun to see. It was good to see 2 out work.
Nice.
There's nothing else to do in Nashville except watch baseball. So I went to a cheesesteak place in Nashville.
Okay, how was that?
Yeah, I don't go to cheesesteak places when I go to other cities for a reason.
Yeah, that's why I was curious.
Yeah, they said that it was supposed to be really good. I was not. I'm going to just leave it at that. It's a Philly place.
You were underwhelmed. I got you.
That's a good word there. Underwhelmed.
Sorry about that, guys. My first sergeant just stopped by here and dumped off his dog and a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm like, "Where the hell did you come from?" Nobody even expected him. Crazy. But anywho,
So you're the kennel? People just drop their dogs off there?
yeah. Well, he's going up to Michigan with his girlfriend, so well, every time he goes, I get the dog. So, and I've known this dog, Bo. I've known this dog for almost 20. This dog's 20 years old. I babysat him when he was like 4 months old, and then we went to Afghanistan on the first deployment, and he's been through 7 combat deployments with me and First Sergeant Bell. And for some reason, this dog don't die. He's still around. I think he's like a multi-crew or I don't know.
You just
Whatever.
jinxed that. Like he's gonna pass away during the show.
He is old, Bo. I mean, he's old. He looks like Tags. Old.
Wow.
And he's driving to Michigan.
Just catching
Okay.
strays over there.
And your buddy's driving to Michigan?
No, they're flying. No,
Because you want him to bring some stuff back. You want him to bring some stuff back because Michigan is the cheapest pots in the country.
Really?
Not sure why. Yeah, by far. By far. It's like I went out of my way to drive home through Detroit to grab. You could spend like $300 and come out with like half the store.
Did you go to Mackinac Island? Did you hit that part of Michigan at all?
Not this time around, but I've been up that way.
Yeah, I got another
You
one.
go
of my
to
friends.
the Upper Peninsula. Going to the Upper Peninsula is like going to Green Bay.
Yeah.
Those people are weird.
Well, they are close to the border, so
But no,
it is what it is.
But yeah, for some reason the pots and the regulations of marijuana in Michigan is so much so that it breeds competition and they give away everything. It's like
Perfect.
ridiculously cheap.
That needs to be on my bucket list of places to go.
Yes, Mackinac Island fudge is amazing.
Good
If it's
fudge.
got some of the edible stuff in it, it'd be definitely amazing.
What makes the fudge so much better up there? The salt air?
I don't know
when
how
it can be salt winter.
No, I don't know how they
Sure.
make it. I don't know what they used to make it, but like Mackinac Island fudge has always been known to be like the top fudge like in the country because whatever they use to make it, it's more moist than normal fudges because some of the fudge are a little bit drier. But whatever they use to make it, the fudge is more moist. It has a longer shelf life than any other fudge in the country, and just I don't know what they do, but it's always been known for that. And they sell it like all over the United States. Like if you go to San Francisco, you can buy Mackinac Island fudge. Like they sell it everywhere.
Huh. Yeah, I've never been much of a fudge person, but I have heard that Mac has some cool stuff up there.
Oh, and then for Joe's question right there, the game was called in the 8th inning because of weather. So they had a rain delay. They looked at the radar. It was supposed to rain basically up until almost 10 o'clock at night. And with Sunday being a getaway day, they already played 7 full innings. It counts as a full game. The White Sox ended up getting the win 5-4 because there's no way that field would have been able to get dried in time for them to continue the game.
You know what kind of makes me mad about that is we still got 3 more games left to play against them. Why could they just do a small doubleheader, play out the last few innings of that game, and then start the new game? I don't understand why they couldn't.
Because the last 3 games are in Houston. It's part of the new baseball rules where everybody plays everybody. Like you play each team in the American League that's not in your division once in your building for a 3-game series, once in their building for a 3-game series. Because this was the series finale, it counts as the White Sox third home game. They're not going to play a doubleheader in Houston with the White Sox being the home team for like an inning.
Besides, they wanted to gift wrap UNL. So
And the other big issue behind it was the Houston Astros got to go to Chicago later this year to face the Cubs for a 3-game series. and they were trying to figure out if the White Sox had like an off day where Houston could come into Chicago, finish that game before going to Wrigley, or play the 3 games at Wrigley first, and then finish that game being the makeup game. The schedule never worked out. Like, the White Sox are not in Chicago when the Astros go to Chicago, and they don't have like any common off days for the rest of the year where you could be like, well, Houston will just send you to Chicago, finish your game before you go here. So it just ended up being one of those situations where there's no common dates to make it work where they can finish it.
You guys were going to lose it anyway. It doesn't matter. You guys don't start playing good baseball here for another like 2-3 weeks.
The White Sox will take any kind of win they can get.
Well, the good news was I think at least the Mariners lost. I believe y'all lost yesterday as well, correct, Bo?
Yeah, so we went 2 of 3, but we did get beat up yesterday. It was I believe it was 8-1.
Right.
The second game that we did win, we won 2-1. So
Right.
Hopefully that's not an indicator that our bats are cooling off. But
No, I was just saying more. I think you either have a 2 or 2.5 game. I think lead up on us right now. I believe.
You're welcome, Joe. Yeah, we have a 3-game lead on you at the moment.
The
But
3.
again,
Okay.
yeah, you guys start to come on here in a couple of weeks, and we're a few weeks away from starting to cool off, right? Like, that just is the roller coaster ride that we normally sign up for both our teams, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I wouldn't read a whole lot into either of our standings at the moment.
Oh no! You can't read it right now because I don't even think the Astros made a push last year until towards the end of their season. I think it
you
was
started
Texas
playing better.
most of the way.
Yeah, well, but you started winning. Like, you weren't playing great baseball, but you were playing better than like how you started, right?
Oh, for sure.
So you guys will start to come on, and then for our end, it's just going to be, can the bats stay alive, right?
Yeah, 'cause I don't think your pitch is going to cool off. You got good pitching over there.
Yeah, it did weirdly. So when it comes to this part of the season, it's always a little bit of a question when they fall off. But you can bet for the 2 weeks after the All-Star break, they do not remember how to play baseball at all. Like, it's one of the easiest betting against the Mariners is the 2 weeks after the All-Star break. I don't know what it is, but wow, they can't play baseball during that stretch. And that's been true for 20 years. So there's a little bit of history behind it.
Just a little bit, right? I mean, not a lot. 20 years is not
Yeah, I mean, solid track record there. It kind of the wrong direction though. The West stinks. I mean, the West is consistent.
I don't know though. Does the West really stink? Because we've taken 3 World Series, and we've been in the World Series quite a few times over the last 10 years. The West has been. So I don't know if it really stinks there, Chris. I don't know who your team is.
I think
fan.
he's talking about the division itself, though. Where Houston was winning the World Series, like, Houston was the only good team in that division. Everybody else.
Texas just took a World Series.
Who?
The Texas Rangers just got.
Yeah, I know. That was
World
but look at the rest of that division, though. Seattle was under 500. Oakland was like 50 and 112, and Angels are terrible. Well, like when
Obviously, you don't include Oakland. We're talking about major league squads.
I'm just saying that when 60% of your division is going to win 70 games or less, that's not a good.
Hey, but you know what though, Bo? Let's be honest. The A's have played quite a bit better this season versus past seasons. Now I know we're early, but even still, over the long period of it, the A's usually kind of are at the very bottom. So yeah,
Because they spent money this offseason for the first time, and I think forever. They added Luis Severino to their starting rotation, and he became the highest paid player in Oakland/Sacramento athletics history. They re-signed Brent Rooker to a long-term extension. They have Shea Langoliers. They gave Lawrence Butler a long-term extension. Like, they're finally spending money to get this team ready to move to Vegas because they need people to actually show up when they move. So they have to spend money to at least put some competitive players on that roster.
yeah.
Yeah, well, and obviously I was saying the West. is bad at making fun of it. It's actually a very evenly matched division. The downside is they're going to cannibalize each other, and it's probably only the division winner coming out.
Yeah.
I didn't think so. Actually, when you look at how bad right now everybody in the East is in comparison, I mean, I think that you could wind up having 2 teams, if not maybe 3, if they're playing. Because as of right now, there's 3 teams. You guys are all above 500, are you not?
Yeah, I'm reading some history into this. Obviously, if you're looking at it today, then yes, you're.
I mean, when you look at the American League, though, realistically, you could have 2 teams come out of every division for the playoffs. If you look at the AL Central, you have the Tigers and the Guardians, who are great teams. The rest of the AL Central is going to be eliminated by the All-Star break. AL East, you have the Yankees in first place. The Red Sox, I think, are going to end up being just fine, but the Blue Jays are not good this year. The Orioles are having a terrible year this year, and the Rays aren't good this year. So you have the Yankees and Red Sox probably coming in out of that division, and then you have the West, Seattle and Houston. Like, there could literally be 2 teams from each division coming into the playoffs this year just because it's all those divisions this year are so top-heavy.
I mean, the A's are ahead of
Yeah, they're like 19, and they're like 3 games above 500 right now. The A's.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, in general, like this year, like all 3 divisions this year are so top heavy where you have 2 really good teams and the rest of the division is so poor that you could literally have 2 playoff teams from each division get through. And then you look at the National League, you're going to have 3 teams come out of the NL West, possibly 4.
And Scott, would that be so bad? Come on, let us have a small victory. Man.
Wow.
No, like I keep waiting for the Mariners to finally put a consistent season together, but until they show me that, I'm not going to be overly enthusiastic. Like especially because they keep following the exact same roller coaster ride. Like if they would just mix up the highs and lows, you could kind of get excited. But when they're riding the exact same one, I mean, it's like going to a theme park and you only rode the one ride. Like by the time the last time you rode it, you're probably not having as much fun, right?
But hey, so basically what I hear you saying is that you're going to keep status quo up until the point after the All-Star break. And after the All-Star break, if you're still riding that high, then maybe you'll jump on board and change your mind.
No, they're still my team. Like, I don't misunderstand me. Like, I want.
No, I'm not misunderstanding. No, I'm talking about your expectation, because you said you have an expectation of like they're going to fall off. So you feel like until you see them prove 2 weeks after the All-Star break,
yeah, if they
you're not going to get too excited.
If they can remember that they play baseball after the All-Star break and can keep it close within the division, I would be happy with that. Even if we still end up missing the playoffs. Like if we can just show some consistency all year, as opposed to having a high, we're like, oh, we're leading the division. Then they're like, okay, but everybody go on vacation. It's like, wait a minute. Like, could we please just play consistent baseball? Like I would feel better about it than, hey, we have some of the best pitching in the league and we're winning our division and all of this. And then all of a sudden we fall apart for 3 weeks and we're,
1 game out of the playoffs.
Yeah, well, I was going to say we're last in the division, right? Because we'll be ahead in the division by multiple games, and then somehow in the middle of the season be down at the bottom of the rankings within our division, and then we build our way back, and then that's where we're like, we missed it again. So no, I want to see something that it indicates that they're getting better. I guess that's probably the biggest thing is they keep doing the exact same thing. I'd like to see growth somewhere because although the names on the back of the jerseys have changed a little bit, the pattern's exactly the same.
For 30 years, I've said the same thing about the Cowboys.
Yeah, but you're not trying to get better. But I guess neither are we. So there you go.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. I don't think anybody's going to get better. Status quo this mug. So yeah, that's that. Listen.
Speaking of the Cowboys, I was watching this video on Instagram. And they were talking about how the video starts out. This is how dumb the Cowboys are. They got their first pick in the draft. They got the Jalen Carter stopper. So the guy that they got is offensive lineman. So it's like, okay, he's given up 3 sacks his rookie year, his freshman year, and hasn't given up a sack since then. So ultimately, the guy goes back and he wants to find who he gave those sacks up to against. And he gave them up against Georgia. Who did he give them up against? Jalen Carter. So the Jalen Carter stopper gave up it, like, just got taken to the woodshed by Jalen Carter last time. So that's how smart the Cowboys are.
Well, yeah. We're gonna let that lay there for a second.
Yeah, I got nothing for that.
We're just gonna leave that one alone. Hey, real quick. Hey, so I saw, and I know you guys have seen this too. Henry Ruggs. Josh Jacobs has been talking to Henry Ruggs. Henry Ruggs has been working out. He's been doing all his pro workouts in the prison. Jacobs has been, I guess, talking to teams about him, trying to promote him. I guess maybe there's some teams that might be slightly interested. Ruggs is due to come out here, I think, next year, if not maybe a little bit sooner, on Good Behavior. Do we see him back in the NFL?
I mean, if he's still capable of playing, the league has shown that you can go to prison and come back. Like, they don't care about that. So if you can still play at a high level, the NFL has proven they will overlook any amount of red tape as long as you're still elite. As soon as you're not elite, hit the bricks. But if you're still elite, it doesn't matter what you've done, unless there is some of the most ridiculous evidence ever, like the Ray Rice videos and stuff. Outside of that, you pretty much always have the ticket to get back in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And that's real good, because I think whoever gets him, if they do take a flyer on him, will get him super cheap up until, when he proves himself, and then he'll maybe cost a little bit of money after that.
Oh, I mean, he'll be a practice squad guy signed to a 1-year deal, but someone will take a flyer on him, because why wouldn't you?
Right. And how old is he? I think he's only, 25, 26 maybe?
Yeah, because he went to prison at 22, 23.
Yeah.
Right. So he's got there's still a lot of wear and tear on that body he can deal with. So
I mean, of course,
it's been 3 years, or is it 5 years?
I think it's been 3 years since he went in.
Yeah, so he has the opportunity to get out early on parole.
Yeah.
Good behavior and stuff like that. So this year, I think, is when he can parole out. So he would, I think he would still miss this season, but.
And he's a wide receiver, I assume, right?
Yeah.
Henry Ruggs went to prison on August 9th, 2023. So it hasn't even been 2 years since he actually went into prison.
Yeah, but I mean, you can get pretty quick up for parole pretty quickly.
No, I know, but I thought he was actually in prison longer than just 2 years. Like, he's only been in. He hasn't even been in prison yet for 2 years. Like, I thought he was there since 2022 already.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, the last I saw in a report, in an article, it was 2026 was when he was going to come back or be released. But I think it could be sooner than that, like you said, Bo, on Good Behavior, possibly.
Well, probably. It probably makes more sense. It makes more sense to have him out, because then a civil suit could be set, and half his wages could go to the family of the deceased.
For sure.
He's eligible for parole on August 5th, 2026, which means if he makes parole, he's basically available for the preseason of 2026.
With Oakland or Las Vegas?
Yeah.
So, but he's still owned by Vegas.
I don't know. Technically, he's owned by Vegas.
Should be.
He's owned by Vegas through this year, and then he has that 5th-year option if Vegas exercises. He's still under his rookie contract yet. So if he hits parole in 2026, I wouldn't be surprised if Oakland or the Raiders basically say, here, you exercise your 5th-year option. You don't get paid what you were going to get paid. You get your 5th-year option, come show up to training camp. We'll play you in the preseason, see what you got.
And that would be really that wide receiver one that they're looking for to complement Bowers and Jacoby Meyer and company.
Yeah.
I mean, he would get paid his rookie deal.
Yeah.
That's what it would be. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you would exercise that.
It's the Raiders. They do dumb things. They probably would exercise that.
I mean, they also like convicts. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah, they do.
like there's a few teams that really embrace that. It's the Cowboys, the Raiders, and the Patriots. Like
Hey, Cowboys have gotten better. We have an anti-drug policy now, so we're good. We're good.
okay.
You just,
But no, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if he does get paroled this year. Because then, yeah, he would be able to, in theory, play next year.
And couldn't that could actually help out Geno if he plays next year, right? Because then that gives Geno another weapon to go along Bowers. And
I mean, we'll see. A prison workout is not an NFL workout.
Oh, I understand. Yeah,
right?
I understand.
So, I mean, you could be doing all the work you want to do inside them prison walls. You can't duplicate the speed of the NFL.
It's not like he's playing with Paul Crew and Earl Meggett.
Yes. The good thing is he's a receiver, though, right? So, I mean, you can be working on, the crispness of routes, stuff like that. So, I mean, it's there are some things that benefit him per position that might make that transition back a little easier rather than had he been a DB or a quarterback or something like that, where, you're just not getting the reps the same way. Receivers, you are a little bit on an island trying to make somebody miss, right? So, I mean, it does help. That was one of the big questions when Vic was coming back. Is he going to be able to read a defense after being in prison for a little while? So,
I do agree with Scott's comment there to a point, but the difference with Ruggs is being an NFL wide receiver, like you said, you can do NFL wide receiver route running in prison. Chances are they have a football laying around where somebody can throw you passes. So it's not like you're just not going to be practicing versus if a quarterback misses too much time. That's different because you can throw passes to people in prison, but if you don't have like an actual way to read a defense and how defenses change like year in to year out, it's hard for a quarterback to get back to the level they were before they went to prison.
And that's my point.
Versus a wide receiver, I think it'd be a lot easier for Ruggs to get close to where he was just because he was only in the league for a year and a half anyways. He's still running to stay in shape. He's still doing routes. Like, routes are routes. As long as you can catch a pass and get open, a quarterback will find you.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that was my point, is he plays a position that has probably the easiest path back because most of what you do is based on you.
Yeah.
So, if you can still make a guy miss you, you still have a shot, especially if you still have speed.
And the guy had 4.3 speed heading it. The guy had 4.3 speed when he went into prison, so no one's saying that he's going to have 4.3 speed coming out, but if he even has 4.4 speed coming out of prison, he's going to be a reliable option for somebody.
Well, I mean, maybe. It'll be the one thing that you can't really practice in there is your, even if you're catching passes from people, it's going to be the full speed catching ability.
Yeah, it's going to be the cardio side of it.
It's one of the reasons why T.O. didn't make the squad here in Seattle when he tried to come back, is he just didn't see the ball the same way, right? And so although he was still working out like crazy and everything like that, he looked every bit the part, he just didn't see the ball as well anymore. And so that is something, being in prison, that may start to fade a little bit because you're years removed from tracking a full speed football with defense. Yeah. So, I mean, that'll be the one thing that might be a little bit different. Although if he moves in, especially if he's a 4-4 guy at this point, he's probably a slot receiver, and you're going to have less of those deep balls that you have to track. It's going to be more of those crossing routes. So, I mean, may not matter.
Yeah. Well, and the main thing is, see, I used to be a prison guard, so I know for a fact they only get about an hour of rec time a day. And you don't know what kind of facility he has that rec time in. Is it a gym facility or is it a little small courtyard like we had, which you can't really do much at all in that little courtyard? So the best, in my opinion, the only thing that he can really truly do is sit us, push us, maybe a little bit of weightlifting here and there, modified weightlifting there. but he's not doing the cardio like Bo said. You're not getting the cardio like you would in the outside world. So that part of his game is going to be delayed a little bit until he can actually get out and really do some running.
I mean, the one thing you can do, whether it's the gym or the courtyard, though, is all the footwork.
Yeah.
You can absolutely do all of that. And you can do some of that cardio stuff because if you're doing some of the ball drills, like those things wear you out. And so, I mean, you'd absolutely be able to do all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what his conditions look like in there because I know every prison is different. And I know in my in our prison, you weren't getting that kind of workout. You didn't have that kind of time or luxury or any of that. You mostly were in a lockdown unit for the most part. So I don't know what his accessibility is like. But according to Josh Jacobs, it sounds like he must have something there that he thinks he still has something in the tank.
Well, I mean, he's not going to be in some maximum security prison.
No,
it was a car accident.
No, I wasn't in the maximum security either. No, I was actually in a program facility, so I wasn't in the maximum security either. It just depends on how that prison is. I've been in 8 different prisons. I know, and I've been all different levels, and every prison is built differently. So it just depends on his facility, and his facility may have this kind of amenities, you know.
Yeah, you never can tell. And I don't foresee it being horribly hard for him. Right? I mean,
I think a year. I think you got to give him
a fair
a
amount
year.
of time, right? And if he does get paroled this year, he wouldn't be playing this year. It'd be for next year. So he'd have a lot of outside of prison time to get up to speed. And then if he is still, owned by the Raiders, he at least kind of has an idea where he might go.
Right.
Yeah. I think you're right, though. I think it takes him at least a year to really get back into game shape, though. Like a solid year. I wouldn't expect nothing out of that first year.
Well,
like where he was. You know what I mean? Like where he was. I mean, he's going to take a...
Yeah, but if he gets paroled at the end of this year, he would have the rest of this year and then all the off season and...
Oh, right. Yeah, if he got paroled this year, for sure.
Yeah, well, and that's what they're talking about is he comes up for parole later this year. So he'd miss this season, but he potentially could be out this year. If, again, if you make parole.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, dang. I really don't give a damn about Henry Ruggs. I do care about the family. No, seriously, I don't care about this guy. He took a life. I don't care about him. But I do care about the family that he inflicted that type of pain upon. And I do want them to get compensated for the loss of their loved one. That's what I care about. And that's why I want him to be successful so that they can benefit, because nobody's benefiting with financially or anything with him sitting in prison.
Well, the family actually has already been compensated.
Have they?
The Raiders have been paying Ruggs' contract basically out to the family while he's been in prison.
Oh,
so Ruggs actually isn't making any money. Like his contract is going towards the family while he's in prison.
As it should be.
And then once he gets out, I'm sure there'll be some obviously negotiations happening at that point, because the first 4 years of his rookie deal, he's making like $14 million total. And then once you pick up that 5th year option, it goes from like $4 million a year up to like $9 million a year or whatever it is. So I'm sure there's going to be like some negotiations in there where Ruggs is like, if you've been paying these people $4 million a year, give them $4 million of my $9 million option. I'll take the other 5. Like, I'm pretty sure Ruggs ain't going to fight him over too much. But yeah, the family's been getting compensated the whole time. Just Ruggs knows he's not making money. His whole contract's been going to the family.
And that's what it should be. Good for the Raiders. Good for the Raiders doing that. That's good. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't know they were paying the family. That's pretty cool though.
Yeah, the first year of his contract did not go to the family because he made that money the first year. It was leading into the second year of his contract when the accident happened. So year 2, year 3, this year being year 4, all that money's going for the family. And then if he does come back and gets that 5th year option, that's when you'll see probably some negotiations take place where he's like, I'll pay you again this year, but after that, I don't know if they will continue that just because he might not be in the Raiders after year 5.
Well, and that's assuming they pick up his deal.
Yeah.
Like they may not be interested in that at all.
Exactly. And
but someone will absolutely take a flyer on the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody. I definitely think somebody's going to take.
At least bring him into camp.
Well, that's what I mean. You bring him into the rookie mini camp because something like that. Because why not?
And the other option too that he needs to consider, and I know he's probably not going to consider when you look at the financials of it, why not just go to the UFL? Like, go to the UFL just to get into football shape for a year. Because if it is going to take you a year to get into football shape, go to the UFL, get in football shape with those players to show that you can still do it. And then you can pretty much sign with any team out of that point.
Yeah, and this I believe is that once he's out, it's on Ruggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because if I was the Raiders, I'd be like, okay, like, it's on you guys now.
Which is why I said there'll probably be like some negotiations happening once he does get another contract with somebody basically saying, okay, the Raiders are paying you my contract the last 3 years. If I get $9 million, that's double what I was making before this happened. I will pay you the $4 million one more year. And then if I sign another contract with somebody else, the payments stop just because then I'm no longer with the Raiders. I'm kind of on a fresh start with somebody else.
Well, and it makes you wonder what that looks like from the court system anyway.
Yeah.
Like what was the award, right? Like what was the family given moving forward anyway? Because I mean, who knows? Maybe it's done after this, after the guaranteed money's closed out. Like, I don't know.
And I'm wondering if there was an award to the family, or if that's something that the Raiders did, and maybe there still has to be a civil lawsuit to see what the award would be.
Oops.
I gotta roll, guys.
Yep. We're at the
Time
top
to get
of
to
the
the
hour
airport.
anyway.
Perfect. See you tomorrow.
Yep. All right. Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. And of course, if you're watching on Roku, stay tuned for the next hour. Shout out to our guy, Mac, who passed away over the weekend. The originator of our Roku channel. Awesome guy. If you ever got to meet him, definitely check out some of the old shows that he was on. He's always hilarious to listen to. And of course, our tribute show that came out on Sunday morning. Definitely check that out as well. Otherwise, we're going to get out of here. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Take it easy, everybody.